Self-awareness is the cornerstone of focusing on yourself because it allows you to understand who you truly are beneath the layers of expectations and roles and societal pressures. It starts with asking the hard questions. What drives me? What makes me feel alive? What causes me to retreat? These aren't questions you can answer overnight, and they require a willingness to sit with discomfort. Self-awareness demands honesty, and sometimes what you uncover may not be what you expected. End quote. I want you to define what you uncover may not be what you expected. You might realize you've been chasing goals that aren't yours, or that the things you thought were fulfilling no longer bring you joy. This is the work, peeling back those layers even when it's uncomfortable, to find clarity about your inner world. Developing self-awareness also means paying attention to the messages your emotions and body send you. Too often we push through exhaustion, ignore frustration, or dismiss sadness as weakness. But these emotions are signals, pointing to areas that need care and attention. Tuning into them requires slowing down, reflecting, and being present with yourself. It's in these moments of mindfulness that you begin to understand what aligns with your values and what doesn't. Self-awareness gives you the ability to notice patterns in your behavior, recognize what depletes you, and lean into the things that truly nourish your soul. It's not about having all the answers, it's about being willing to ask the right questions and listen to the answers that emerge. Self-awareness is the cornerstone of personal growth and fulfillment. It's about looking inward and asking the tough questions. What truly matters to me? Why do I react the way I do in certain situations? When we take the time to reflect on our values, emotions, and behaviors, we uncover the patterns that shape our lives. Some of these patterns may empower us, while others hold us back. Developing self-awareness requires courage because it means confronting parts of ourselves we may not like or understand. It's not about judging or fixing. It's about observing and accepting where we are so we can move forward with intention. In the chaos of everyday life, self-awareness can serve as an anchor. When you're aware of your strengths and weaknesses, your triggers and joys, you can respond to life's challenges instead of reacting impulsively. For example, understanding what drains your energy versus what replenishes it allows you to make choices that align with your well-being. This isn't a one-time event, but an ongoing process. With practice, self-awareness becomes a tool that helps you navigate relationships, career decisions, and personal growth with greater clarity and confidence. Setting boundaries is one of the most powerful ways to take care of yourself. Yet, it can feel deeply uncomfortable. Many of us were raised to believe that saying no is rude or that prioritizing our needs is selfish. But the truth is, without boundaries, we end up giving more than we have to give, leaving ourselves depleted and resentful. Boundaries are not walls. They are guidelines that define what is okay and what is not. They allow us to protect our time, energy, and emotional well-being. Learning to set them means getting clear on what you need and having the courage to communicate those needs, even if it feels awkward at first. The beauty of boundaries is that they teach people how to treat us. When we set limits, we model self-respect, which often inspires others to respect us in return. This isn't always easy, especially when people are used to us being endlessly available. There may be pushback, guilt, or fear of disappointing others, but boundaries are acts of love, both for yourself and for those around you. They prevent burnout and resentment while creating space for healthier, more balanced relationships. Embracing vulnerability is about stepping into the discomfort of being seen as you truly are, without guarantees of how you'll be received. Vulnerability is often misunderstood as weakness, but it is, in fact, one of the greatest indicators of courage. It's what allows us to show up authentically. Whether that means admitting we don't have all the answers, sharing our feelings, or asking for help. When we resist vulnerability, we armor ourselves against rejection or failure. But in doing so, we also block out connection, growth, and joy. Embracing it means leaning into uncertainty and trusting that there is strength in being open and real. Vulnerability is the key to meaningful relationships. When we allow ourselves to be honest about our fears, struggles, and desires, we create space for others to do the same. This openness fosters trust and empathy, transforming shallow interactions into deeper bonds. But vulnerability isn't just about relationships with others, it's also about the relationships with yourself. It challenges you to sit with your discomfort, own your story, and find power in your imperfections. Each act of vulnerability is a step toward becoming more aligned with your true self, even when it feels messy or uncomfortable. Rejecting perfectionism means letting go of the belief that your worth is tied to flawless performance or the approval of others. Perfectionism often masquerades as a drive for excellence, but it's rooted in fear of making mistakes, being judged, or not being enough. This fear can keep us stuck in a cycle of overworking, second guessing, and avoiding risks. Perfectionism doesn't lead to growth, it leads to paralysis. By rejecting it, you give yourself permission to show up as you are, embracing the messiness and imperfections that come with being human. Letting go of perfectionism also means recognizing the harm it does to your well-being. It can drain your energy, steal your joy, and rob you of the ability to celebrate your progress. When you focus on being perfect, you miss the beauty of the process and the lessons that come from failure. Rejecting perfectionism isn't about lowering your standards. It's about shifting your focus from unattainable ideals to authentic effort and genuine growth. It's about learning to value progress over perfection and realizing that mistakes aren't flaws, they're stepping stones. Celebrating small wins is about acknowledging the progress you make, no matter how minor it may seem. Often, we get so focused on the big goals or end results that we overlook the small, meaningful steps that lead us there. These small victories are proof that you're moving forward and they deserve to be recognized. Whether it's completing a task you've been putting off, making a healthier choice, or simply showing up on a hard day, celebrating these moments reinforces your efforts and builds momentum. It's a reminder that growth is a journey, not a single achievement. When you celebrate small wins, you're also cultivating a mindset of gratitude and positivity. Instead of fixating on what you haven't done, you're focusing on what you have accomplished. This shift can boost your confidence and motivation, making it easier to tackle bigger challenges. Small wins are not insignificant. They are the building blocks of long-term success. By taking the time to honor them, you're not only fueling your progress, but also creating a habit of appreciating the journey as much as the destination. Practicing self-compassion means treating yourself with the same kindness and understanding that you would offer a close friend. It's about recognizing that you're human, and being human means you'll make mistakes, face challenges, and sometimes fall short of your expectations. Instead of criticizing yourself harshly when things go wrong, self-compassion invites you to respond with patience and care. Self-compassion reveals to you that you're not perfect. So whatever you do every single day will not be enough, because that is what makes us human. It encourages you to acknowledge your struggles without judgment and to remind yourself that difficulties are a shared part of the human experience. This perspective can soften the inner dialogue that often amplifies shame or self-doubt. Self-compassion also involves giving yourself permission to rest and recover without guilt. In a world that often glorifies busyness and perfection, it's easy to feel like you're never doing enough. But pushing yourself relentlessly isn't sustainable or healthy. Practicing self-compassion means recognizing when you need to pause, giving yourself grace for not having all the answers, and accepting that your worth isn't tied to your productivity. It's the daily choice to show yourself the empathy and care that you so freely extend to others, creating a foundation of resilience and inner peace. Silencing comparison begins with understanding how deeply it can erode your sense of self-worth. When you measure your life against others, you're often comparing their highlight reel to your behind-the-scenes struggles. This skewed perspective can leave you feeling inadequate even when you're making incredible progress. Comparison thrives on the belief that there's only so much success, happiness, or beauty to go around. But the truth is, someone else's achievements don't diminish your own. Letting go of comparison means shifting your focus inward and evaluating your life based on your values, goals, and growth, not someone else's story. Living in the present rather than in the future. Like 90% of what we do is based in the future. Comparison also distracts you from appreciating your unique journey. Every step you've taken, every challenge you've overcome, and every choice you've made has shaped you in ways no one else can replicate. By silencing comparison, you create space to celebrate what makes you, you. It's about recognizing that your path is yours alone to walk, with its own timing and purpose. When you let go of the need to compete or measure up, you free yourself to live authentically and align with what truly matters to you. Prioritizing what fills you up is about intentionally choosing the people, activities, and experiences that nourish your soul and bring you joy. Life pulls you in many directions, and it's easy to get caught up in obligations or routines that drain your energy. Taking the time to identify what truly makes you feel alive allows you to focus your time and energy where it matters most. Whether it's spending time with loved ones, engaging in creative pursuits, or simply finding moments of quiet. Prioritizing these things helps you stay connected to your inner self and recharge for life's demands. When you make space for what fills you up, you're also creating balance and resilience. Life's challenges can be overwhelming, but having meaningful outlets and sources of joy gives you a foundation to weather the storms. It's not about ignoring responsibilities, but rather ensuring that your well-being doesn't get lost in the shuffle. Prioritizing these aspects of your life requires boundaries, commitment, and the courage to say no to what doesn't serve you, so you can say yes to what does. To say no